Okay, y'all, before we begin, can anyone tell me what a number line is?
Number?
What's a number line?
Line that you divide into halves, thirds, and fourths. You can go on.
Mm-hmm.
You could do more. You could do different groups of holes.
Mm-hmm.
A line that is divided into equal parts.
Right. So a number line is basically a straight line that can be divided into equal parts in order to represent numbers or fractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can y'all tell me why it's so important to use number lines? Raise your hand if you have an idea. I want y'all to kind of talk together and discuss why you think it's so important for us to use number lines.
Maybe we could say that it's important to use number lines. So if we needed help with making different holes, it would be easier to make different holes with number lines. Check your work. Number lines can help us understand fractions.
They can help us understand fractions, okay?
Think of new holes.
Anything? Did you lose what you were going to say? You did? Anybody else want to add anything?
I understand fractions.
They help us understand fractions? Yeah. It's important for us to use number lines because it can provide us with a visual picture when we're comparing whole numbers and fractions. And it's also important because we use number lines on rulers and measuring tapes, you know? If we're, say we're measuring like fabric to make a shirt that you're wearing, somebody had to measure this to make sure it's the right size. And we could measure wood, like if we're building a house. Remember when we did our floor plan? You know, we would have to figure out how much wood we would need to build that house, right? So today we're going to compare the size of fractions by using a number line. So I want each of you to pay close attention to me as I model the directions I want you to follow. So I'm going to show 1/4 by drawing a rectangle and dividing it into equal parts. Let me do it this way. I can't draw sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to draw 3/4. So remember when we got our fraction strips out, our little magnets, you know, and we compared them? This is we're going to kind of pretend that these are our fraction strips. So I am going to compare these rectangles and determine which fraction is larger. So I want you to look at the first rectangle. There are 4 equal parts. So what's the denominator going to be? 4. And I've only shaded one part. So what's the numerator going to be? 1. Okay. So therefore, what would the fraction of this fraction strip be? 1/4. Good. Now I'm going to look at the second rectangle. There are 4 equal parts, right? So what would the denominator be? 4. And I have shaded 3 parts. So the numerator would be 3/4. So what would the fraction be? 3/4. Good. So now that we've determined the fractions for each fraction strip or rectangle, I want to compare them to see which one is larger. By looking at these, I know 3/4 is larger because these 3 parts is greater than this one part that's shaded, right? We can compare these fractions the same way that we compare fractions using the magnetic strips. Now I'm going to show you how we can create a number line in order to compare the fractions. So, I'm going to make a number line really fast. I'm gonna make this number line for fourths. We're gonna compare those fractions that we did before. So I'm gonna put 0 here, 1 here, 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. So we did 1/4 and 3/4, right? So our 1/4 is gonna be right here, and our 3/4 is right here. So which one is the farthest away from the 0? Zero's right here. 3/4. So would 3/4 be the largest? If it's so the largest is going to be the farthest away from the 0, right?
Yeah.
So 1/4 wouldn't be the largest because it only goes to right here. But 3/4 goes all the way down here.
Yeah, but the smallest is 0/4, which is
The smallest is 0/4, which
Yeah.
is basically 0, right?
Yeah.
All right, now let's take a look at our problem set. So is everybody on the page with their problem set? Now, I want you to use your scratch paper, your blank paper that's right across from your problem set. I want you to draw number lines along with me. So let's look at number, here, open your book. You still want to be able to look at this and use your scratch sheet of paper. So let's look at number 1. Who wants to read number 1 for me? Okay, go ahead.
3.
No, read where it says starts with
1.
divide.
Divide each number line into the given fractional unit, then place the fraction. Write each whole as a fraction.
Okay, so we're basically going to take the fractions that they've given us for halves. Can you read the fractions for me that they give us?
3
halves,
5 halves, 4 halves.
and 4 halves. So we're going to use that number line to draw those fractions on the number line. So read those fractions again to me.
3 halves.
3 halves,
5
halves,
4 halves.
and 4 halves. So I want everyone to draw their number line on their scratch sheet of paper. And you can write your fractions down under it like I did. So give me a thumbs up if you have your number line. Thumbs up. Ralph, are you good? You get thumbs up? You got your number line? You do? Okay. So, it wants us to create a number line that represents halves. So we're going to begin our line at 0. So I want everyone to draw a little, we're going to call them little tick marks, a little line, and write 0. We're always going to begin at 0 when we do our number line. So each little tick mark is going to represent a fraction as we count. So, not 2 halves. What's after 0?
I was saying like
1.
halves.
Oh, gotcha. So 1 half. What would be after 1 half?
2 halves.
2 halves.
And 3 halves.
3 halves. Y'all count with him. Come on.
Which is 4 halves.
4 halves. What's after 4?
5
5
halves.
halves. Keep going.
6 halves.
6 halves. Let's do one more.
And 7 halves.
Good. Where's our 3/2 at?
Right here.
Right here.
And two halves.
So we can,
represents
y'all do
one.
make a little dot above where 3/2 is on your number line.
Like that.
Go ahead and put your halves on there. And then put a dot over 3/2. Can you see?
It's okay.
You might need to make it. Well, no, you're good.
Yeah, I was just like, that one's supposed to be one. That one's supposed to be two.
Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up when you're done with your number line. Okay, everybody have their number line? So I want y'all to put a dot above where 3/2 is. Now where's 4/2?
Right after
Right after 3/2. So put a dot above 4/2. What about 5/2? Where's it at?
It is on.
It's right after 4/2, right?
Yeah.
So put a dot above 3/2, 4/2, and 5/2. So remember we said the largest fraction would be the farthest away from the 0, right? So which fraction would be the largest by looking at your number line? The one, look at the fractions that we put a dot on.
Yeah.
5/2, right? Because if you look at it, 0 to 5/2 is that long. And 0 to 4/2 is that long. And 0 to 3/2 is that long. So which one would be the largest again? Tell me again. 5. Good. All right. And then if we look at part B of number 1, it wants us to do fourths.
Yeah.
So who wants to read those fractions to me?
9/4, 11/4, and 6/4.
9/4, 11/4, and 6/4. So I want y'all to go ahead and draw your number line. And you can go ahead and put your 0 there if you want to.
I'm gonna have to put like 20 of them.
I know,
I guess 14 would be good. Yeah,
because we have to go all the way to 11/4.
8. We're gonna have to draw 3 holes.
I want you to give me a thumbs up when you got your number line drawn.
Boom. 3. 0.
Everybody ready?
No, not even close.
All right, so let's start counting. So if we have 0/4, then what's after 0? 1/4.
I haven't done this.
What's after 1? Y'all count with me. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4, 10/4. I'm running out of room. One more. 11/4.
I did 12.
It's an ugly number line I have, but it'll be alright. Okay. I'm gonna wait for y'all to get y'all's fractions drawn on there.
I done 12. That was the.
You went all the way to 12?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I only done that because I wanted to do it equal with my 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Don't look at the last one.
The last one. What is it?
The first one's 24.
What? We can do that. If we can count all the way to 11/4, we can do, what's the fraction? 24. Y'all can do it. Y'all are smart.
I mean, I can, but it's on my hands.
Yeah, we probably have to have a really, really big number line.
As long as I'm going to.
I know, as long as the paper.
I got 0. So put it the whole thing. That's so 8, 6, 7, 24.
And we'll give y'all a few more minutes to have to put your fractions on your number line.
Oh, I don't have nothing. Only 3 holes. Same as that, right? For a second, I thought I had to write 4 holes, which is 32.
What?
Yeah, but I can mine only 3 holes, which is 20. Yeah, so that's good. Oh, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Good.
I just need to write my fractions.
Everybody done with their number line? Give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay. So I want y'all to put a dot where 6/4 is. Find a dot and put it over 6/4 so we can compare them and see which one is the largest. So give me a thumbs up when you put your dot over 6/4.
Dot? 16. Right,
A dot on 6/4.
It might take me a little while.
Now I want you to put a dot where 9/4 is on your number line.
Oh Lord, I'm trying to keep up and I can't.
Here, wait to do that one and go ahead and put your dots where 6/4 and 9/4 is.
Oh. 6, 4.
Now put your another dot where 11/4 is.
11, 4.
All right, give me a thumbs up if you got all your fractions marked on your number line. So looking at your number line, which fraction would be the largest?
11
11/4. How do you know that?
because it's farther away from the 0.
Good. So which fraction then would be the smallest?
The smallest would be 6/4.
6/4. 1/4 would be the smallest, but if we're looking at the fractions that we put a dot on our number line, which one would be the
It would
smallest?
be 6/4
How do you know that?
because it's closest to 0.
It's closest to 0. Job.
That's so close.
Okay, who wants to read the directions for number 2 on the problem set? Ralph, do you want to read them for number 2?
Oh,
You read it?
24/8, 19/8, 16/8.
Number 2, where it says number 2 and it starts
Yeah.
with use.
Yeah.
Use the number line above the compare the following fraction
Good.
using.
So, the directions say that we're going to use the number line that we previously drew to compare the fractions using greater than, less than, or equal to. So, let's take a look at the first problem. What's the first problem say? What are the fractions?
6/4,
6/4 and 9/4. So, what is the fractional unit? What's the denominator?
4.
Yeah.
4. So, which number line would we look at that we just drew?
The 4.
The fourths. Okay, so I'm gonna draw mine really fast, and I want you to look at the fourths number line and think to yourself which fraction is going to be the largest.
I'm going to think it's 9/4.
You think it's 9/4?
9/4. But also, last time they done it actually in size, but I think it's 9/4 stuff.
So when you find the fractions on your number line, you can put a dot above the fraction and you can compare it. So here I've got my number line drawn and we're comparing, what fraction is this?
6/4.
And what fraction is this?
9/4.
So I've got 6/4, I've got a dot above it, and I have my dot above 9/4. So by looking at this number line, which fraction do you think is the largest, 6/4 or 9/4?
6/4.
Why would you think it's 6/4?
Because even though 6/4 is a smaller number, 6/4 would have the bigger area since it's a smaller number. And 9/4, you have to do way more.
But
So it would
remember,
make it way smaller.
I'm doing 9.
but remember we said the largest fraction is the farthest away from the 0, right? Look at 6/4 right here. Look at this line that I drew. And then look at 9/4. So which one is the farthest away from the 0?
9/4.
9/4. So it would be the largest,
Yeah.
right?
Alligator mouth.
So which one is the alligator mouth going to eat? Because remember,
9/4.
it always eats the largest, right? So we're going to draw our alligator mouth eating 9/4.
I ate the thing whole.
So draw on your paper your alligator mouth eating 9/4.
Dang, what? That's already went on.
No, the alligator mouth couldn't eat 6/4 because it's the smallest, right? And he always eats the largest.
Wow, sure. We couldn't complete the entire thing.
So give me a thumbs up when you have your alligator mouth on there.
Centipede.
All right, can someone tell me what the fractions are for, is it like ABC or?
It's
What's the fractions for the next one?
It's
16
and 8.
16
8
and 3 over 2.
3 over 2.
So it's 16.
So, no, we're going to go to the left. Let's do 3 halves and 5 halves. So, if we're doing 3 halves and 5 halves, which number line are we going to look at? What's the denominator? Halves. So we're going to look at the halves number line. So I want you to look at your halves number line and put a dot where 3 halves and 5 halves is while I draw my number line. And I want you to go ahead and think about which one is going to be the largest. Give me a thumbs up when you think you know which fraction is the largest. A thumbs up. Y'all ready? Okay, so I have my number line drawn and I have my dot above 3 halves and 5 halves. So by looking at this number line, which fraction do you think is going to be the largest?
5. Half.
How do you know that?
because
Because
it's farther away from the zero.
yeah,
So
and it's more size.
which fraction would be the smallest then?
3 halves.
How do you know that?
Because it's closer to the zero.
Right.
Yeah.
So which fraction is the alligator mouth going to eat?
It's going to eat
5
the
halves.
5 halves. Good job. So give me a thumbs up when you have your alligator mouth. Okay. See, that's so smart.
Don't call me sport. I'm cold head.
Okay, now I want y'all to do the rest of the problems under number 2 by yourself. Remember that we are comparing fractions using the number line. So when you look at your fractions, look at the denominator and that will tell you which number line you're going to look at, whether it's halves, fourths, or eighths. You can look at your scratch paper on your number line and it'll help you with that. And remember, the alligator mouth always eats the largest. Once you're finished, I want you to put your pencil down and give me a thumbs up.
I have a bad feeling I got some of these ones.
It's okay, we're gonna check over them when y'all are done. But I want to see if y'all can do it without my help.
You know what some people call him? I told his mother we call him Ricky Ralph.
Yeah, my name's they just doing nicknames.
Y'all are silly.
And my dad calls me Trey because I'm a third. And he got Trey's Trace and Trace and Stanley. Got on G.
There's too many toys.
Okay.
One tray with other tray.
Give me a thumbs up if y'all are done.
3 is fine.
Okay, are y'all ready to go over them?
Because when you have, because you say Uno when you have one color, Uno goes.
All right, listen.
Yes.
Are y'all ready to go over them? Okay.
No, yes.
So, what is
I
this
go
one?
super.
19
Chocolate
over
super.
8. And is that 16 over 8? So we're going to be comparing these two. So what number line are we going to be looking at? Halves or fourths or eighths? Eighths, right?
That one's so easy.
So easy.
I don't say that. Somebody
It's going to be a long number line.
I mean, I don't even need a number.
I need a long number line.
Don't worry. Look at mine. Sure, I'll try.
And that's how you draw both. Who knows which fraction is the largest?
19 eighths.
19 eighths.
And I think 16 eighths is fine.
How do y'all know 19 eighths is the
Because
largest?
it's closest to the 0.
Not because it's closest to the 0.
Because it's far
Because it's far
Yeah, I
away.
know.
So
I was talking about 16 eighths then.
then which fraction would be the smallest?
16 eighths.
How do you know that?
Mm,
Because it's...
Because it's
closer
closer
to
to
the
the 0.
So which fraction is the alligator mouth going to eat?
19 eighths.
19 eighths. Awesome.
I try to open them up. I'm still confused, but you know,
What are you confused about?
like if it's full, I meant full halves and 16 eighths. Does it change if the denominator is that, or is it still wrong?
You can still compare. You just have to look at two different number lines. So, for this one, we have different denominators, right? So we're going to look at our eighths number line and our halves number line. So, who knows which one is larger?
16 eighths
How do you know that?
is farther from the 0.
It's farther from the 0. So, which one is the alligator mouth going to eat? 16 eighths, right?
Yeah.
All right, who wants to tell me what they got when they compared 9/4 and 19 over 8? Tell me, Ralph.
Yeah. 19 eighths
19 eighths is the largest. How do you know that?
is farther from the 0.
It's farther from the 0. Good job. All right, who wants to tell me what they got for when they compared 4 halves and 16 eighths? Go ahead.
I ate the 16 eighths
You ate the 16 eighths.
because 4 halves is closer to the 0 and 16 16 is farther from the 0.
Okay. Let's draw our number line.
I got equal.
How? How you get equal?
How? Because that's 2 holes. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So that's 2 holes. And 16 divided by 8 is 2 holes.
It's just the biggest, okay?
I think you're on to something, Ralph.
Yeah. Me too.
No.
That's right. Never stick. I'm looking, I'm drunk.
I don't think I ever claimed none of it. See, you the equal sign. Oh, one minute.
It tricked you, didn't it?
Ralph, I can see when you.
That big.
Oh, I did fourths instead of halves.
Because if you divide 8 by 4, it's going to give you 2.
Well, I meant you.
You can just try the best how to make it.
Okay, so when we're looking at our number line, I have my 4 halves here and my 16/8 right here.
I know how to make a ball.
So we know that 2 halves is going to equal what?
1 whole.
1 whole. So if we double that and we have 4 halves, that's going to be how many
2
holes?
holes.
So I'll show you a little trick. These are actually called improper fractions because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Did y'all know that? So that's a little over y'all's heads, but y'all will get into that later. So if we look at 4 halves, we can take 2. How many times does 2 go into 4?
2.
2.
2 times.
So we can divide it.
Hey!
And that's going to make 2 holes.
Oh my god. Oh,
So if we look at 16/8, how many times does 8 go into 16?
2.
2.
Oh my god.
So you can do a little bit of quick math.
Oh. Something hit me in the stomach.
Y'all's minds blown.
Yeah.
So which one's bigger?
So
The stomach hole.
they're equal because,
Ralph worked the whole time.
let me do this.
Because I put the equal sign.
Now you had 16 days.
And then,
Let me do this for y'all to
Something
make
hit
it
me in
a
the stomach.
little bit easier.
it's okay.
Someone punched you in the
So,
stomach?
how many times do we say 2 goes into 4?
2.
2. So let's So if we had 2 over 2
Oh yeah.
plus 2 over 2, the denominator is going to stay the same. What's 2 plus 2?
4 holes.
4. So this, what's 2 over 2 equal?
You could do 2 times 4 and it'll give you 8.
But what does 2 over 2 equal? That makes
1
one
hole.
whole. So really it's 1 whole plus 1 whole, and that makes 2 holes.
Because you're right, because 16 over 8. 16, 8 goes into 16
2 times, so 8 goes into 16 how many times? 2 times. So really it would be 8/8 plus 8/8. The denominator stays the same. What's 8 plus 8? 16. So really and 8/8 would make
1 hole.
1 whole. So really we're adding 1 whole plus 1 whole makes 2 holes. So these 2 fractions, they both equal 2 because they're both representing 2 holes. So they would be
Both equal.
They're equal.
both equal.
Did I just blow y'all's minds?
No,
I thought I already said that once.
All right. So we're done with that one.
That
So
was better as well.
now we're comparing 9/4 and 9/4, 19/8. So who wants to share
Money.
what they got for that?
What they got for what?
19/8 and 9/4. Comparing those two.
19/8.
We've already done
We have?
No, we haven't.
that. Oh,
We
yeah.
did that a couple minutes ago.
No, we did 19/8 and 6/8
No, we did 19/8 and 19. No.
Yeah, we did do that.
We did.
And
We
then
did.
we did
Oh,
16/8.
gotcha.
I'm gonna confuse.
Okay. 6/4 and 16/8.
Well, something's pushing me this time. I don't know what that is.
So, who wants to tell me what they got for 6/4 and comparing 16/8? Ralph, what you got?
16/8.
16/8 is bigger. How do you know that?
Because it's basically up here too.
It's the farthest away from the 0, right?
And you can't
So-
do that. And it couldn't be equal because you would have to have 8 right there.
Mm-hmm. Right, so remember how I said how many times can 8 go into 6? That's going to make this 2 holes. So we're really comparing 6/4 and 2 holes. So which one would be bigger?
16/8.
16/8 because it's 2 holes, and this one isn't exactly 2 holes.
This is a 1 hole.
If it was 6/3, because how many times can 3 go into 6?
2.
2. So we would be comparing our 4ths number line and 8ths. Good job. We've only got a few more. So which one did we just do?
We just did.
We done this one.
We did that one. We just did that one.
Yeah.
So it'd be 6/4. We're gonna do the 6/4.
16/8.
No, we just did that one.
5 halves and 5 halves and 9/4.
5 halves and 9/4. So who wants to tell me which one is bigger when we're comparing 5 halves and 9/4?
It is 9/4 because it is farther away from the
It's farther away from the 0.
And we can't do 2 holes with it because if you do 2 holes and you put it in a 9, it's only going to be 8 and you leave out 1, so that's not going to be right. And then on the 5 half, if you put the 2 in there, you're going to leave out 1 also. So that's
Let
how
me
I-
take a look. We're doing 5 halves and 9/4.
I can't. How is it? I don't even know what the age is.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I know what the answer is too.
Don't say it.
And I can see where you raised the answer.
Don't say it.
Yes.
So, looking at these number lines, we've got our 5/4 right here. I'm sorry, my handwriting's a little sloppy. And 5 halves right there, and our 9/4 right there.
I wonder what it is.
So, which one's the largest? So, I like what you were thinking, but sometimes, you know how we did our fraction strips with our magnets and we put them right up under each other? Sometimes we might need to redraw a number line and put them right under each other so we can see which one's the largest, right? So, which one was the largest?
9/4.
How do y'all know that?
Because it's larger.
I didn't do it. Which one's the largest?
Look. And I can see the UVA.
Y'all didn't see that.
Yeah, I did.
I saw it as soon as I saw the board.
Y'all didn't see nothing. Okay, last one. I know y'all's brains is hurting.
I'm about to die.
I know. Y'all are fixing to get a break. What's the last one? Tell me quick, fast, and a hurry.
The last one. 24 8 11 4.
24 8 and 11.
24.
Okay.
I know their answer.
So which one's the biggest?
24.
It's obvious.
How do you know that?
Obvious, 24.
Because
it's obvious. It's larger.
it's got a larger numerator, right?
Which one it is?
So if you're comparing 11 and
Or you
24,
can't make 2 holes with either one of them.
now you can't really make
And
two
that's 3
holes.
holes right here. And it's
Yes.
only 2 holes over here.
So Ralph just made a really good point. How many times can 8 go into 24? Not 2, 3.
3.
So this would be 3 holes. Yeah.
I don't know how to count by
So
8s.
when y'all look at fractions that the numerator is larger than the denominator, to see if it equals a whole, look at the denominator and say, can 4 go into 11?
No. Because
But can 8 go into 24?
11's odd.
How many times?
3. 11's odd.
Y'all so smart. Y'all so
11's
smart.
odd. It's easy because 11's odd. So
Okay, let's review.
So you could do more than 3 or 3.
So, who can tell me what a number line is again?
It's a line.
You didn't forget.
It's a line divided into equal parts representing fractions or numbers.
So, a number line is a straight line that we can divide into equal parts to represent.
Yeah.
So, who remembers what the importance of using number lines is?
To figure out like
You can use it to measure. You can
like
To check your work.
To check your work.
no like sometimes you can like use it to see how many like would you have for a house.
Yeah, like if we.
You can measure our clothes so they can know what size.
So, what are number lines on? What tool that we use in math? A ruler and measuring tape. So we can use that to measure, like he said, wood for a house and like fabric for clothes. And it can be used like for your shoe size. It can be used for a whole bunch of different things. So, what do you think our world would be like if we did not have like rulers or measuring tapes?
Everyone would be next
Our clothes would be too big.
Our clothes wouldn't fit,
Too small. And like cave in.
and our houses would look kind of funky.
And the ring you got on your hand wouldn't be the right size.
It wouldn't be the right size. So, if we did not have measuring tools, our world would be very different because we couldn't measure for our shoes or our clothes or anything, right?
wouldn't be able to do math right either.
Yeah. So I want you to give me a thumbs up if you have a good understanding of what we did today. Everybody just give me a thumbs up. I want to thank y'all for participating today, and tomorrow y'all are going to take a deep dive into a different way that y'all can use. Like how we use number lines today, y'all are going to use a different strategy to compare fractions.